Right. So I'm Freya and I'm going to be your practitioner today. Could you just begin by telling me why you're here and what the issue is?
Yeah, so I've just had some pain in my left hamstring after playing football.
Okay. So I'm going to have to ask you a couple more questions just to understand your injury. We'll also be doing some range of movement testing, which will involve me assisting you. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. Also, I'll be palpating the area of your injury, but I'll be explaining to you throughout what I'm doing. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah. Also, if you're in any pain or discomfort at any time, be sure to let me know and I'll stop straight away.
Okay.
Lastly, is there any medical issues that I need to be aware of? Any previous injuries, any heart disease, any cancer?
So nothing recently, but I have had the same injury on the same hamstring about 6 months ago. So
Okay.
there is some weakness already and also slight weakness in my ankles as well.
Okay, no problem. So just before I start with the objective assessment, I just need to ask you a couple of subjective questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question I've got for you is, when and how did the pain start?
So I was playing football, it was about 6 weeks ago. I was sprinting and felt like a sudden pain in my hamstring.
Okay.
It felt like I'd been hit by a ball or an object, but I'd had no contact with players or anything.
Okay. What type of pain would you describe it as? Was it a sharp or a dull pain?
Sharp and quite sudden
Sharp
as well,
and sudden.
yeah.
Okay. Do you feel this pain anywhere else in your leg or any other parts of your body?
No, just through the hamstring.
Just through your hamstring. Okay. So when the incident happened, were you able to continue playing or was it a complete stop and you had to come off?
So I had to come off straight away. I couldn't carry on playing.
Okay.
Yeah, couldn't really do anything.
No problem. Was there any bruising, heat, redness or swelling immediately after the injury?
No, just the sharp and sudden pain
Just
throughout
the
my
sharp and
hamstring.
sudden pain. Okay, and how would you say the pain is now compared to when the injury happened?
It's okay, like there's no impact on daily activities and I'm back to normal walking. But
Okay, so you're weight bearing?
yeah, weight bearing,
Yeah.
and I can straighten my leg now as well.
Okay, so is there any specific movements that affect it particularly or?
I've noticed in my rehab program that during a single leg bridge, my left leg where the injury is feels weaker than my other leg.
Okay.
Which is what I've noticed during the program.
Okay. So when the injury happened then, what did you immediately do? Did you have a physio assist you or?
Yeah, so at the game the physio used acute management for hamstring strain.
Okay.
And she put ice on it and used compression as well.
Okay.
Straight away.
Straight away?
Yeah.
Okay, and then did the physio give you any diagnosis for the injury?
So not at the time, but 3 days after it happened, she diagnosed me with a grade 2 hamstring injury.
Okay. So before this then, have you had any previous injuries? I know you said about the hamstring injury you did 6 months ago. Was that the same?
Yeah, so just that injury
Just
6
the
months
hamstring
ago,
injury
yeah.
6 months ago. Okay, and
That was grade 1.
that was a grade 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said it happened during a game 6 weeks ago. How has your pain from when it happened and your range of movement improved since it happened in the game?
So it has improved, like I can fully straighten my leg now without
Okay.
any discomfort,
Okay.
and like I previously said, I'm starting to use weights as well.
So during exercise then, do you feel any type of weaknesses or discomforts when you're performing?
So like I mentioned at the start as well, obviously slightly weak ankles, and
Yeah.
then due to the injury, slightly weak hamstring as well. Nothing extreme, but slightly fatigued.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you said you want a rehab program.
Yeah.
What sort of rehab have you been doing? What have you been focusing on?
So we've been sticking to the program and focusing on returning to full sport,
Yeah.
which is like focusing mainly on mobility,
Yeah.
specifically isometric, and then progressing into strength training and light running as well.
Okay.
Also core stability exercises, focusing on lumbar-pelvic control.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier getting back into light running, and I think you mentioned weightlifting as well.
Yeah.
Is that right? What has that sort of consisted of for you?
So I've got back involved with the team for strength and conditioning sessions
Okay.
and activities, which is good.
Okay.
Obviously nice to get back in with the team.
Yeah.
And the team bonding.
Yeah.
That my injury hasn't affected that too much as well.
So is there anything that makes the pain feel better or worse in your hamstring?
So it does feel better after exercise, stretching effectively,
Okay.
helping with like DOMs and that the next day,
Okay.
which has become more prominent since my injury. So I've been prioritising doing that a lot
Okay.
more to make it better,
Okay.
make it feel better.
Okay. So I remember you previously mentioned ankle weaknesses, is that
Yeah.
right? What was the cause of that, and was that also your left ankle?
Yes, it was the left ankle. I sprained
Okay.
that 2 years ago,
Okay.
which does still occasionally feel weak and aches sometimes.
Okay, so are you taking any measures yourself to prevent that achy feeling or to support your ankle?
So I do tape it before every game just to be safe, and
Yeah.
occasionally training if it's feeling particularly weak.
Okay, so you're doing what you can then. As you mentioned feeling fatigue earlier during exercise,
Yeah.
in general, has there been any unexplained weight loss, nausea or fatigue, or is it just during exercise you feel that fatigue?
No, nothing like that, just the fatigue during exercise.
Okay, so before we begin the actual objective assessment, I'm aware of your fatigue, your previous ankle strain and your previous hamstring strain. Is there anything else that I need to be aware of?
No, that's everything.
That's everything. Okay, so we are going to begin the objective assessment now, which will include the range of movement exercises and me possibly assisting you, which we spoke about at the start.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, all good.
To begin the objective assessment, I had Josie lie flat on the bed with her back firmly against the head of the bed and her legs flat. We began with an active knee flexion exercise where I directed Josie to bring her foot as close to her glutes as possible, slowly sliding her foot up against the bottom of the bed. Here I prompted Josie to bring her foot as close to her glute as possible so she could feel the full stretch in her hamstring. I made it clear to Josie that although she should feel the stretch in her hamstring, it should not be painful or put her in any sort of discomfort. Although in this video Josie is doing the exercise pretty fast, the exercise should be held for 5 to 10 seconds for full potential. And Josie should repeat the exercise 10 times. We then went into a resisted range of motion hamstring stretch. I first of all assisted Josie by putting the headboard flat for her to lie on her stomach on the bed. I told Josie to start by relaxing both of her legs and then slowly applied resistance to the top of the foot behind her ankle. I told Josie to try and bring her ankle as close to her glutes as she possibly could, whilst I applied a light resistance in the opposite direction, making sure Josie wasn't in any pain or discomfort. A resisted range of motion hamstring stretch helps to improve the hamstring's flexibility and strength. It does this by actively resisting the movement through its full range of motion. The resistance should be held for around 5 seconds. I also made sure to adjust my body positioning accordingly so the resistance was applied correctly and no strain or discomfort was put on Josie's bones or joints. Me and Josie carried out 10 to 15 reps of these exercises, and I told her to try and do 10 to 15 reps 2 to 3 times a week, depending on her pain levels.